Congo, DRC filed a criminal case against European subsidiaries of tech giant Apple, accusing the company of using blood minerals, materials sourced from conflict zones, in its supply chain. The lawsuits, lodged in Paris and Brussels, accuse Apple of war crimes, laundering, forgery, and deception. Conflict minerals in supply chain. The DRC alleges that Apple purchased minerals from conflict-ridden eastern Congo and Rwanda, where materials are mined illegally and funneled into global supply chains. These minerals, tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold, are essential for producing electronic devices like smartphones and computers. Deceptive practices. Apple's French and Belgian subsidiaries are accused of misleading consumers by claiming their supply chains were free from conflict-sourced materials. Humanitarian impact. Lawyers representing the DRC argue that these practices have fueled violence, funded militias, and caused widespread suffering, including forced child labor and environmental destruction. Robert Amsterdam, Washington-based lawyer for the DRC, described the case as a first salvo of judicial actions. He stated, "Color Apple red and not green. It is a trillion-dollar company that must be assumed to know the consequences of its actions." William Bourdon, a Paris-based lawyer, called the complaints a first step towards holding one of the biggest players in tech accountable for its policy of endless enrichment at the cost of the most serious crimes. Christophe Marchand, a Brussels-based lawyer, emphasized the public interest in scrutinizing international supply chains, particularly in light of increasing awareness among European consumers and NGOs. The eastern DRC has been plagued by violence since the 1990s, exacerbated by armed groups and conflicts over the region's rich mineral resources. Tensions escalated with the renewed offensive of Rwandan-backed M23 rebels in North Kivu province in late 2021. Kinshasa accuses Rwanda of using M23 as a proxy to control resource-rich territories and smuggle minerals and gold out of the country. Rwanda has denied these allegations, with government spokeswoman Yolande Makolo dismissing the claims as false accusations. The DRC's lawyers cite investigations by the United Nations, the U.S. State Department, and NGOs such as Global Witness to document the scale of the issue. They claim Apple's practices have contributed to armed conflict, human rights abuses, and environmental devastation in the region. Apple has strongly denied the allegations, stating, "We're deeply committed to responsible sourcing, and we hold our suppliers to the highest standards in the industry." As conflict in the region escalated earlier this year, we notified our suppliers that their smelters and refiners must suspend sourcing tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold from the DRC and Rwanda. Despite Apple's assurances of rigorous supplier audits and mineral traceability initiatives, the DRC's legal team argues that the company is complicit in laundering looted minerals through complex supply chains. This case marks a significant challenge to corporate accountability in global supply chains. It raises critical questions about the ethical sourcing of minerals and the role of multinational corporations in perpetuating conflicts in resource-rich regions. The legal actions against Apple may also prompt heightened scrutiny of other tech companies and their supply chain practices. The DRC's legal team has written to European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, urging the EU to take steps toward accountability and ending armed violence in sub-Saharan Africa's mineral supply chains. They have emphasized the need for international cooperation to address the systemic issues underpinning the exploitation of the DRC's natural resources. The criminal complaints against Apple could set a precedent for holding multinational corporations accountable for their role in conflict-related human rights abuses. As scrutiny of supply chains intensifies, this case underscores the urgent need for transparency, ethical practices, and robust enforcement mechanisms in global trade. The King Kong has spoke. Like, comment, share, and certainly subscribe.